can't believe we need a bill for this, but here we are, Nancy Mace, having to put up a bill to ban men from women's bathrooms.
Are you going after a marginalized person here?
Sarah McBride doesn't get a say in this. This is a biological man trying to force himself into women's spaces, and I'm not going to tolerate it. You have the radical left that are trying to erase women and erase women's rights. I'm the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. If some guy in a skirt came by and said, no, that's my achievement, I'm going to be there and standing in the way and saying, hell no. I'm not going to allow men to erase women or women's rights.
I feel like I'm living in the upside down. I thought this was going to go away with Tim Walz and his tampon crusade in the boys' bathroom back in his own state. No, here we are again, trying to explain to people that look, I'm not a doctor, but I would classify as probably mentally ill, one of which just got elected to Congress, that boys can't go into girls' bathrooms. We had to put up an actual bill for that. I mean, how much did this cost? And they're wondering why Congress has an 18% approval rating. But there is hope. Mike Johnson, emboldened by this Trump win, said, quote, all single-sex facilities in the Capitol and House office buildings, such as restrooms, changing rooms, and locker rooms, are reserved for individuals of that biological sex. All right, that's great. How about the rest of those January 6 tapes now? But you know what the craziest thing is? None of this matters. Each member has their own bathroom in their office anyway. So this Delaware congressman should not be making a big deal about this. But they are. And so are his colleagues. Democrats are absolutely livid that men can't use girls' bathrooms. Dean Phillips tweeting out, pathetic! What are you scared of, Nancy? A dude in a woman's bathroom. Well, we can draw the anatomy in crayon if you need us to, Dean. But since you asked, you want to know what she's afraid of? This.
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab your ratty-looking hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead.
Well, that seems pleasant, because these are the types of threats that are rolling in for Nancy Mace right now, which I may add, that sounds awful masculine to me. But I bet he wouldn't say that to me in person. By the way, we invited McBride, this new congressman-elect, on to ask him a couple simple questions. I mean, I figured a congressman, someone in the business of debating the merits of issues that they believe in, would want to come on and defend this type of crazy, but no, won't do that. He doesn't want me to ask him this one question. Why doesn't he want to use the men's bathroom? Why is that? Oh, because you are uncomfortable in the men's bathroom? Is that, oh, gee, that's the same reason women don't want you in their bathroom. This is my problem with this whole movement. These people want to play make-believe with about zero concern about how it will make anybody else feel. Why should every other woman feel uncomfortable so your delusions can be appeased? This is what the left needs to understand. This is exactly why you lost the election. They, thems, running all over the place, want everyone around them to conform to their delusions. And if you don't, they just scream to high heaven that you're like some sort of a bigot. He won't come on and have that conversation, but he's happy to run to the podium and try to claim, oh, I'm not making this about transgenderism.
I didn't run on my identity, but my identity was not a secret.
Oh, you didn't run on your identity, huh? Here is a web scroll of the media that is time-stamped up to the date of the election 2 weeks ago. McBride, you rode that media wave all the way to D.C. Don't whiz on my leg and tell me it's raining. Your identity was walking around saying, oh, I'm not making this race about me being trans and my identity. That is making it about your identity. That's all you made it about. He went on to say that in the same press conference, after, of course, again, bringing up the trans issue, of course, that he's not bringing up, folks. Don't be fooled. He's trying to deflect to policy now.
My district is urban, suburban, and rural. It looks like America. And what I was hearing was not the ads that Donald Trump was putting on the air. What I was hearing from folks is the need to build an economy that works for everyone. What I was hearing was that the American dream is increasingly unaffordable and inaccessible. What I was hearing was that we need to guarantee affordable health care, housing, and child care for every person in this state and in this country.
First off, your district is blue. America is not. This is what America looks like, but bright red. Ironically enough, largely because America is tired of you and your little games and your social stunts. But since you want to do policy, I would have been happy to go there if you had taken us up on our interview today. You're not only confused about your gender, but you're wildly confused about your policy and the damage your party has done to your electorate. You talk about the economy. Who's been in charge of your state? Democrats. Joe Biden has been your senator basically since the Bronze Age. Delaware, last Republican was the last governor of Delaware was like 1993. Okay, the last Republican congressman was 2011. The last Republican senator was 2001. You have near Democrat supermajorities in the state house and the state senate, and Democrats have held the White House for the last 12 of 16 years. You talk about the destruction of the American dream, unaffordable health care, housing, child care out of touch. But your party is responsible for that destruction. And now you want to destroy the sanctity of women's bathrooms too? Hard pass, dude. You lost the culture war. You lost on every issue. And your party lost the last election. And the only thing that you got left is Trump has no policy?
Is that Donald Trump was trying to divide and distract from the fact that he has absolutely no policy solutions for the issues that are actually keeping voters up at night.
You have to wonder if these people actually believe this stuff as much as they believe men can be women. Donald Trump doesn't have policy. Are you kidding me? That's all he ran on. Your top of the ticket, Kamala Harris, who, by the way, outperformed McBride by 2,000 votes, that woman, your whole party ran a campaign of placid niceties and zero policy. Actually, they stole a couple policies from Donald Trump, like no tax on tips. Because the last 4 years, your party ran this country into the ground. You want to go toe-to-toe on policy? I will have you on anytime, anywhere to debate you on that when your schedule permits, as your staff said today. But in the meantime, there are two genders, and you are what you are born as. And since your party was the one screaming in my face for the last 4 years, follow the science, you have XY chromosomes. And 2 weeks ago, America said we don't want our bathrooms looking like the bar scene out of Star Wars. Nancy Mace said it best.
If McBride wants to go to the gym, she can go to Planet Fitness, where they allow biological men to be around in a room in a private space with underage girls. Like, no, thank you. It's not going to happen, not on my watch, and I'm going to stand in the way of anyone crazy enough to let men into women's spaces. It's not a thing. It's not going to be a thing up here.
Look, you want to pretend to be a woman, I don't care. Fine by me. But I'm not pretending with you, and you can't force me. That doesn't make you oppressed. And I'm no doctor, but I would just consider you mentally ill. Maybe get some help or something. I also have serious questions about those who elected you, but that's a topic for another day. Look, you are not a woman, McBride, and Trump is your president.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.